Hey everybody, welcome to our Epic Empire team call. I know that we have a lot of people who will be watching the recording, so it's recording for you guys if your downline coaches weren't able to jump on. But thank you for taking time out on your Wednesday night to grow your business. Hey look, Chelsea's got the same little poster I do on the back. How funny. So we have a guest speaker tonight. I'm super excited to have her on. But first I want to go over some recognition and announcements. We'll start with announcements. Super Saturday is coming up so quickly. DC Super Saturday is sold out, but we are releasing 100 tickets probably tomorrow. So if one of your coaches or you did not get a ticket, you might want to keep refreshing and checking the Eventbrite. So Tony Horton's coming, Jeff Hill's coming. We have Tara Carr as a guest speaker and Tanya Barron as a guest speaker. Both have been in the top 25. Tara Carr built her business from Okinawa, Japan. So she has a heart as a military spouse. So if you have a spouse who's in the military or whatever, you might be able to relate to how she was able to recruit and grow $1 million business while she was serving, or her husband was serving overseas, alone with her kids. So it's going to be an amazing event. If you are not in DC, Virginia, or Maryland, there are Super Saturdays all over the country. So go into the back office, go to news and training under events, look up your Super Saturday that's closest to your region. So if you're in Raleigh, North Carolina, or Sacramento, California, there is a Super Saturday near you, or at least within 2-hour driving distance. It's worth it to pour into your business. I promise it's an amazing experience. All right. So I'm going to go over recognition for February because I don't think we actually wrapped up February's numbers, and we had an amazing month. We had a lot of rank advancements. I am going off of the document in Epic Empire, so if your numbers aren't on here, it's because you didn't put them on there. We are all CEOs of our own business, so I expect you to report your own numbers on here so that I'm not going through like downline to downline, and I can only see a certain amount of levels. So yes, make sure you and your coaches are on there. Rank advancements, we had Carla go diamond, Afton went emerald, Jamie went emerald, Kelly went emerald, Kevin went emerald, Ren went diamond, and Joel went emerald. Those are the ones who reported on the rank advancements. So congratulations to everybody who was able to rank advance. And then Kelly's second business center went diamond, and Joshua went 1-star qualifying, and then I'm at 7-star qualifying. So congratulations to all of you amazing coaches who moved your business forward. All right, on the board, holy moly. I'm going to read on the board because these are people who you are adding to your challenge groups. I don't like to just focus on the fact that somebody hit Success Club 5. I like to recognize definitely the coaches who might be new and are adding to our challenge groups and are helping change lives. So we have Amy O'Rear at 1 coach and 2 points, Nicole Mikowski at 2 points, Julie Robertson at 1 coach and 2 points, and Eric Robertson at 4 points. Sarah McHaffa, I think I'm saying that right, at 2 points. Kathy Park at 2 points. Brittany McGowan at 2 coaches and 4 points. And Brittany, you also went emerald. Lisa Harris at 2 points. Melinda at 2 coaches and 6 points. I don't know why you're in that portion, but you should be up in the Success Club 5 portion. Jody Allred at 1 coach and 2 points. Jennifer Lewinsky at 4 points. Melanie Etheridge at 1 coach and 2 points. Missy Merritt at 2 points. Jamie Perry at 2 coaches and 4 points. Kevin Crichton at 1 coach. Katie Burke, 2 coaches and 6 points. Carol at 2 points. Miriam Hilton at 2 points. Michelle Horning at 2 points. Make sure you mute your line when you jump on. Denise Hebert at 2 points. Jen Pierce at 2 points. Beth Stouffer at 1 point. Jordan Beckner at 1 coach and 2 points. Kristen Russell at 1 coach and 4 points. And Tara Conway at 1 coach and 2 points. 4 points. I'm sorry. 1 coach and 4 points. All right. So the people who are on the board for Success Club are, this is Success Club 5. Jennifer Combs at 2 coaches and 6 points. Samantha at 8 points. Lisa Crichton, who we also know as Lee Renee, at 1 coach and 6 points. Kathy Cho at 5 points. Annette at 5 points. Jason Delancey, congratulations, at 1 coach and 5 points. Tammy, Foria, how do you say the last name? I don't know. I I butcher names all the time. 2 coaches and 5 points. This is the problem when like you meet people online and you're your friends on social media. Did I freeze? Because you guys all froze. Am I frozen? Yes or no? No?
Not anymore. You were, but not anymore.
Okay. Hopefully you guys didn't take a picture of my funny face because Kelsey's frozen. She looks funny. She got like a spoon on her nose or something. All right. Sorry. Kelly Slaughter at 1 coach and 9 points. Congratulations to everybody who hit Success Club 5. All right. Moving to Success Club 10. We have Jennifer Kenyon at, that's okay. I'll still say her name. She's in Success Club 5. Jennifer Kenyon at 8 points. Erin McMillan is 2 coaches and 6 points. And that tops off our Success Club 5 category. For some reason, they're in the wrong category. That's okay. You guys are awesome rock stars. And Erin, good grief. You just started. You're already going Emerald, and you got 6 points. That's amazing. All right, Success Club 10, Kelly King, 3 coaches and 10 points. Susan Sealer at 10 points. Cindy DePinto at 1 coach and 10 points. Dina Bauer at 1 coach and 19 points. Afton Rio at 1 coach and 14 points. I think there should be more than 1 coach on there, Afton. I think you have like 5. Rebecca Thompson at 3 coaches and 15 points. And then the overachievers category is Carla Perry at 4 coaches and 21 points. Ren Young at 4 coaches and 25 points, with Joel, her husband, at 4 points and 2 coaches. And then myself with 9 coaches and 31 points, and my husband at 4 points. Whew, February was an amazing month. Y'all, this week, I hope you guys are Emerald because our volume is the highest it's ever been in Epic Empire. What does that mean? Well, if you're an Emerald coach or above, you get team bonus cycles based on that volume. So if you have no clue what I'm talking about, talk to your upline and they'll explain it because we won't go into that. But I want to introduce our amazing guest speaker. Let me pull up her recognition here, her credentials. You know, she's got the cool jacket and everything. I'm just kidding. So Chelsea is our speaker today, and she is, I'm assuming the Premier came first. So I'm going to say 2014 Premier Coach, Success Club 5 Legend, 2015 Elite. I don't know if I have that backwards, but either way, she's hit Elite and Premier. And she's also a five-star Diamond Coach. So the girlfriend knows what she's doing. She has her way of doing things, and I'm excited to hear how she runs her business, a little bit about her story, and some nuggets that we can take away to apply to our own lives and businesses today. So you guys put away social media, put away your cell phones, put away your kids and your husbands for 30 minutes, and let's listen and learn. All right, Chelsea, you got the floor, girlfriend.
Hi, thank you so much. I'm so honored to be able to talk on your call. It seems like you guys have an awesome team, and congratulations on a killer February. I can't believe it's March. So my name is Chelsea Carothers, and I'm just going to correct Jatana. Actually, I was a 2013 Premier, 2014 Elite, and I am not Elite this year, and I'm going to kind of explain that. So, so I started in May of 2012, and I started with my husband. So just a little background on us. My husband is an alcoholic, and he's been sober now. It'll be 5 years in May. And so I also was diagnosed with cancer with my second baby in 2010. And so before we found Beachbody, we were at our all-time unhealthiest. We were treading water, barely surviving, almost divorced, in a really unhappy spot. So physical appearance was like the least. It was way down on our list. And we were barely surviving. I was going through cancer treatment. My husband was drinking a lot. And so we were at the bottom of the barrel, really. And so we finally kind of overcame that. I've been cancer-free for 5 years. Yay. My husband's been sober. So it's kind of a big year for us. And so we were ready to take care of ourselves again, but we didn't know what to do. I wasn't proud of the mom that I had become. I have 2 little girls that are 5 and 7, and they're the light of my life. And I felt like I was being a fraud. I was telling them to do things but not setting the example. And so I wanted to change it while they were little so I could be proud of the mom I was. And so one of my friends was posting on social media. She had 4 little kids, and she was being active and fit in Hawaii. And I was super jealous and still couldn't lose my 15 pounds of baby weight, and my baby was turning 2, so I couldn't use that as an excuse anymore. And so I was ready to do something else. All I was doing is going to the gym for the first 2 years of her life, and anyone that knows me knows I hate running, but I was too scared to leave her in the nursery, and so the only way I'd leave her is if I could watch her on the monitor, and the only thing I had on monitor was the treadmill. So I was taking her, schlepping her to the gym, leaving her in the nursery, and then getting on the treadmill, which I hated, and like watching her the whole time. And like half the time she would like poop her pants or like start eating a crayon. So I'd be like running down there really fast to make sure she was okay. So I was really like running 10 minutes. And then I'd go home and I'd get like a 32-ounce Dr. Pepper and a pizza and wonder why I wasn't losing any weight. And so my friend started posting, and I followed her. I like stalked her for 9 months. And this is what I tell all my coaches. I'm like, you can't expect people to sign up day one. I stalked my coach for 9 months. She sent me Shakeology samples. I put them in my cupboard. She followed up with me. I ignored her for like a month because I hadn't tried them. She kept following up with me. So I was like the worst prospect, but she never gave up on me. And so finally, Mother's Day of May of 2012, I got so sick of my excuses and of myself. And I was so mad. We decided to just go all in and try Insanity and Shakeology. And the first 30 days, I thought I was going to die because it was Insanity. And my husband started doing it with me. We thought we would just lose weight. And within the first 30 days, we saw more progress than 2 years at the gym. And all I thought it was going to do for me is get me in shape. But what it did for me was completely heal us. Like it was the first thing we had done together as a couple. And we had been at odds for so long, and we did something together that was hard. We started getting up at 5:30 in the morning and working out. And over that 60 days, it was like so healing for us. And we knew we would never stop once we found that. And so we signed up as coaches to get 25% off. I had no intention of coaching because I thought I was such a hot mess. There was no way I could help anybody else. And so I was just working out. And people started asking me what I was doing. So I grew this business really organically because I didn't think people would think I could help them. And I was scared to start. And so when people started asking me questions, I shared it just because I was so excited. I shared it just like I'd share something if I was proud of my kids. And so it was just very natural. So I grew it that way. So 2012 was slower growth for me. I wasn't one of those coaches that like went diamond in 30 days. I started in May in 2012 and I went diamond in March of 2013. But then after that, once I was all in, I was committed. And so in 2013, I was a premier coach. In 2014, I was elite. And so that is what this call is really about. It's about I am really, really big on personal development because I know if you don't take care of yourself, you can't take care of anybody else. And I have focused on it a lot as a coach. I also have lost it too. And so when I became an elite coach, I started focusing more on the business, which you need to focus on the business, but you also have to remember why you love this business. I started focusing more on the business and I lost the fun. And once you lose yourself in this business, you can get a little off course. But the beautiful thing about it is you can always course correct and you can seek out things you need. You can seek out mentors in this business and you can become successful again. And just because I don't have the title of elite this year, I actually financially am making more. I'm having more fun. My team is booming and doing so well. And while elite is super, super important, and I am not downplaying that by any means, elite and premier is definitely goals that you should do and shoot for. Just do it in an organic way that you don't get so sidetracked and caught up in all the rank and everything, that you're still helping people grow. And so that's just a little bit about me. So this year, I started investing a lot more in personal development because I knew if I wanted to continue to grow and be better, that I needed to push myself outside of my comfort zone. And so I went to a Tony Robbins event, and I promised Jatana I was not going to make you guys walk on fire or do anything weird. So I promise it's not going to get weird, but I learned a lot. And so I invested in myself, and I actually got a life coach through Tony Robbins. And she's taught me a lot about this business and has shared some things with me that have truly made this business fun again. and also have made me get on track, and it's been really helpful for my team. So I wanted to share with you guys a little bit of the aha moments I've had this year learning with her and becoming better all around. So I'm just going to share my screen, and then at the end, if you guys have any questions, I would absolutely love to answer them. Okay, so sorry, this is what I did for my team, so I forgot to change the title, but so we'll just skip over that. Okay, so one of the biggest lessons I've learned, and this is something that a lot of these are really obvious when I say them, but if you aren't thinking about them and keeping them in the forefront of your mind every day, it's easy to forget it. So I love this quote, where your focus goes, your energy flows. And what that means is if you're focusing on lack, or if you're focusing on your struggles, or if you're focusing on, I can't recruit, or I can't find working coaches, or I can't rank advance, or I can't hit Success Club, or I can't lose weight, that's what you're going to get more of, because that's where your energy is going. What you have to do is when you start talking to yourself in a negative way or questioning yourself, flip it to the exact opposite. So instead of saying, I can't find working coaches, say, I'm finding working coaches. Working coaches are seeking me out, because you need to trick your brain into believing that until you actually do. And I'm going to share a really powerful story about that in a second. So don't focus on lack, because you're going to find more lack. You want your focus and you want your energy to be intertwined and together. So always make sure you're being positive, thinking of the positive, not the negative. And if you have a bad day, it is like an energy sucker. You are like so drained at the end of the day. It's so hard to have a bad day. But if you just choose to find one reason to be happy, then you just focus all your energy on that and it goes much better. So for instance, this is kind of an extreme example, but when I got diagnosed with cancer, most people kind of freak out and think of all the worst case scenarios. And I did that because I was at a point in my life when I wasn't being positive. And so you start thinking of all these horrible things and, not seeing your kids grow up and who's going to raise them, and I'm not going to be able to see them to get married and all this stuff. That is just feeding into the negativity. Now when I go back for my checkups, I know I'm going to be okay. I know nothing's going to happen. And if it does come back, it's okay, because I have the strength to fight it now. Like, I can't prevent it from coming back. There's nothing I can do that's going to say, oh, I'm not going to get it. So why worry about it? Like, focus on the positive. Don't focus on things that are out of your control that are going to make you worry. Something that's helped me a lot, and this is the one thing that just Hannah might be like, this is a little weird, is incantations. They're called I can statements. And it's basically an affirmation, but it's said with intensity. So this is something I do every morning. It's part of my miracle morning, and it needs to be a personal, present, and positive statement. So by personal, I mean it's an I statement. And by present, I mean it's I will, I have, I can. It's not I might, I would, I should, because those are giving you an excuse or a way out. And so things I do, the first thing I do when I wake up in the morning is I ask myself what I want in this business. This is what I did at the beginning of the year, and how I want to grow this business, what type of leader I want to be, what type of coach I want to be. And I came up with some affirmations that I say every day. And I can tell you, I'm not perfect, and there's been weeks I've forgotten to say them when I was getting into the habit, and my business suffered. When you're saying these, you're telling your subconscious mind what to believe and where you want to go. And when you do it over and over and over, looking in the mirror if it helps you in your bathroom in the morning, just sitting in someplace quiet and saying them out loud, it's going to start to come true. And you're going to start to believe it, and it's going to become a habit for you. So some examples of incantations. These are things that I just came up with. And so whatever you're struggling with or wherever you want to go in this business, you'll obviously need to come up with your own. But it could be, I am a 6-figure earner, if that's where you want to go with this business. Or I am a 7-figure earner. And you say it as if you are it right now. Or I love the balance I have in my life. That was a huge one for me. I felt like I lost the balance. I started this business because I wanted to be able to stay home with my kids. And last year, all of that got flipped. And I was focusing more on the business than I was on the time with my kids. And it was a conflict of interest for me. So these are all different examples. I am making blank working 20 hours a week, if that's what you want to do. Or I have a team of thousands that are passionate and focused on helping others achieve their goals. I have traveled the world. I always have more than enough money. I'm wildly, wildly wealthy. I'm a confident leader. So you have to come up with 3 to 4 incantations that are things that you want to do, that are important for you, that you maybe don't even think is possible for you, but you want it to be. And come up with it. You're going to write it down, and you're going to say each one 10 times every morning. You're going to repeat it. The trick is you can't say, I'm wildly, wildly wealthy, because that is not, you're not believing you're really wildly, wildly wealthy. You have to say it with purpose. So you have to say, I am a team leader. You're saying them out loud. You're saying it with conviction. You're believing what you're saying. And so when you come up with these incantations, you can put it in something called a triad. So when you think of the things you want to be, how do you feel? So if, for example, you want to be a confident leader, think about how you would feel if you were a confident leader. You're not going to be like hunched over and really quiet and like demure. You're probably going to have like really upright posture with your shoulders back, exuding confidence, not having shallow breathing. So you have to get your physiology right. And then you need to focus on what that belief is for you. And then you're going to say those incantations. So you need to get yourself in the right physiology, the right belief, and then you're going to write your incantations down. So what you can do is actually make a little table just like this one. And you can put what your physiology is going to be, what your belief's going to be, and then write your 3 to 4 incantations on the right. Because for the first few weeks, you won't have them memorized. So you can actually take your piece of paper into the bathroom while you're looking in the mirror, and you can say them out loud to yourself. And then after a couple weeks, it will be a habit. And this whole process takes less than 5 minutes. And it is so powerful and something that is going to completely change your belief system in yourself. So that is one thing that has really, really helped me. Talking about our problems is our greatest addiction. Break the habit and talk about your joys. Tying into that, the whole where your focus goes, your energy flows statement. Beginning of this year, my husband had a job he didn't like. He hated it. And if any of you guys have had jobs you don't like, or if your spouses have had jobs they don't like, you know it kind of flows into everything. And so he would come home really unhappy. So then I'd be unhappy. We'd all be stressed. And so I was talking to my coach about it, and she said, he needs to stop saying how much he hates his job. And I'm like, oh, okay, I'll just go tell him that. That's going to go over really well. And she's like, no, really, go tell him to stop saying how much he hates his job and to start looking for reasons as to why he loves his job. And I was like, okay. So I went in and I talked to him and I said, Karst, we need to start thinking about why we love your job. So for instance, it gives us benefits, which are super important for us. It pays our bills. Again, another reason that we love the job. You get paid time off for vacation. So we started thinking of reasons why he should love his job. So for you guys, for 2 weeks, he started doing that, saying why he loved his job and why he was thankful for his job. And we were driving to my mom's house on Thanksgiving Day, and he'd been doing this for 2 weeks, and his phone rings, and he answers it, and it's a recruiter who saw his profile on LinkedIn and wanted him to interview for a new position. And my life coach had told me that once you stop focusing on the lack and the hate, and once you start focusing on the love and the like, you open yourself up to new opportunities. I kind of didn't believe her at first until that phone rang. I was like, are you kidding me? He didn't have his profile on Career Builder. He wasn't actively seeking a job out. All we did was change how his verbiage was in his head. For 2 weeks, he'd had this job for over 8 months, and no one had contacted him about a job, and he wasn't even actively looking. As soon as he changed his verbiage, 2 weeks later, someone called him. It's a Fortune 500, top 50 company, and he started the interview process with them, and he now has had that job for a month and a half. It's completely opposite of his old job, and he loves it. And so I got chills when his phone rang, and I was like, I can't believe this. This is so crazy. And all he did was switch his focus. So whatever you want in the business, don't focus on what you don't have. Focus on what you want and what you love and why you love this business, and never lose sight of that, because it's really easy. This business is a roller coaster. There's great times and there's highs, and then the next day you can turn around and it can be super low. And so I don't focus on the coach that quits, or the coach that tells me she's going to go all in and then the next day is canceled her account, or the person that says they're going to order a challenge pack after I talk to them for 4 months and they just never do. I focus on the good things, because I know if someone drops off, there's going to be someone else tomorrow that wants to sign up. So I focus on those, and I don't focus on the bad. And it's completely changed how this business has worked. So how do you hold yourself accountable? This is huge. And we all know we should hold ourselves accountable, and I'm assuming you guys do the BAT and things like that. My life coach asked me, she said, what is your goals and how are you tracking them? And so she was asking me about calendars and how many challengers am I going to bring in every month? And we all try to hit Success Club, so we know exactly how many challengers that is. And she's like, and what's your recruiting goal? And how many did you recruit last month? And I was like, I don't know how many people I know how many we recruited, but I don't know how many I've actually talked to. And she challenged me to actually track it. So this was so helpful. I am like really ghetto and I'm not techie. And I know just Hannah has all these crazy spreadsheets and they're beautiful because she did our team call and she was great at it. Or her assistant is, I don't know, but somebody is. I'm not. So she told me I needed to make whatever my focus was for the month, make a calendar. And so I just got my kids' poster board and I drew 30 squares on a poster board because my focus for December was recruiting. And I had to physically write every single person I talked to about the coaching opportunity. Now, you guys, I've been doing this for a long time, 3.5 years. I know how to recruit and I track it on my BAT. But when I had to actually write their names on this little board that was staring me in the face every day, it completely changed my perspective because it kept me really in tune to what I needed to do every day. And I tripled my recruiting for the month of December because that's where my focus was. So I got a poster board. I put 30 squares in it. I knew I had to talk to at least 5 people a week about coaching. And she asked me what my retention rate was for if I actually talked to them, how many of them actually signed up. And it was 90% for the month of December. And it was because I was writing their names down. I was highlighting it off when they joined, and I was focused on it. So whatever your focus is or wherever your challenge is, if it's challengers, if it's recruiting, pick one. Don't overwhelm yourself and be like, oh my gosh, I have to do a recruiting one, I have to do a challenge group one, I have to do a prospect one. And just focus on it for 1 month and see if you improve it. And you'll be shocked at how it works. So you can do it on Google Docs or you can just do it old school. But pick one focus, make a calendar, make yourself write their names in, come up with a goal, post it somewhere you're going to see it every day. And I guarantee you're going to double your numbers because you're really focused on it and you're seeing it. So goals. This ties into your goals. Do you know your goals? Have you guys set your goals for the year? I hope that you guys have 3 to 4 goals that you're reaching for in 2016. Something that I do every morning along with my incantations is I rewrite my goals. So I have 4 goals that are SMART goals, that are measurable. This is what the majority of Americans do. They write their goals down in January, and then they can't find them in December, and they don't even remember what they are. And I will flat out tell you, I've done that with Beachbody. Last year I wrote goals. I knew what my push goal was, but the rest of them, I don't even remember what they were. And so I wanted to change that this year. And so after I do my incantations, I rewrite my goals every morning. It takes me 2 minutes, and it's always reminding me of what I'm supposed to be doing every day to be successful this year. That one little thing has changed so much in my business. Because by rewriting them, you're holding yourself accountable to them and you're reminding yourself of what your priorities are. So make sure they're SMART goals. I'm sure you guys all know what that means. Specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time related. And then live your life in a way that reflects those priorities. When you are going about your everyday life, when you have your goals and you're thinking about what they are on a daily basis, it totally makes you think differently of what you're doing every day. Are your priorities in line with your goals? Are you doing things every day that are going to get you closer to your goals? You have to learn to say no to be able to say yes. So this was huge for me. So when you say yes, you need to ask yourself, does this align with my goals? Will this get me closer to my priorities or further away? Will this cause more stress in my life, and is it worth it? By saying yes to this, what am I saying no to? For example, I used to say yes to everything at my kids' school because that was my priority. Like, I wanted to do that. But I've learned that my priority is also my business, because by being home and working this business, it's given me the opportunity to be able to go to my girls' school and be there instead of have to work 8 to 5 Monday through Friday. So instead of, like, they asked me to do the spring carnival this year, usually I would have been like, oh yeah, for sure, I'll do that. And then I would have spent like 40 hours at their school planning for it, and would have totally not been focused on my business at all. So what I do now is, before I say yes to anything, I think about my goals. And some of my goals are family related and some of them are business related, and I weigh it all out. And I have to think about, if I say yes to this, what am I saying no to? And so if I'm saying no to getting my business hours in, then I'm not going to say yes, because I have to keep all of my priorities in line. So for example, I write down what I say yes to each week. So this week I said yes to volunteering in my girls' class. I said yes to setting my business hours and sticking to them. I said yes to hosting this team call. I said yes to getting up early every day and saying my incantations and writing my goals out. I said yes to not working when my kids are out of school. So by saying yes to those things, I flip it and say, so what am I saying no to? So by saying yes to working my business hours, I'm saying no to not having a relationship with my children outside, because when I'm not balanced, I feel like I'm being pulled in a lot of different directions, and that makes me unhappy. So I'm saying no to not having mom guilt because I'm sticking to my business hours. By sticking to my business hours, I'm saying yes. I'm saying no to not making this business a hobby, but making it a business. So you have to think about what you're saying yes to, and by saying yes, what you're actually saying no to, and flipping it around, and it makes so much sense. I think I skipped one thing. Where is that over here? Okay. So just keep that in mind when you guys are going about your day. A huge thing that has helped me so much is business hours. And I know most people say they have business hours, but I said I had business hours, and my business hours were from 9 to 3 when my kids were in school. That's a lot of business hours, but I wasn't really doing them business hours. I was like, if I had a hair appointment, I would go, or if one of my friends wanted coffee, I would go, or if someone called me, I'd answer my phone, or if someone messaged me, I'd look. And so something that I've changed this year is, instead of just saying I am working 7 hours, I actually time block out my time. So I get on my phone, and 2 hours a day I time block for my BAT and working my power hour, and it's blocked. So I know that I can't answer my phone. I can't go volunteer in my kids' classroom. I can't go meet my friends for coffee. So Monday through Friday, I block 2 hours. And the other thing I do is I have all this training, social media training and additional training I wanted to do, but I was never getting it done. I invested in all of this stuff, but it was one of those things that was always pushed to the back burner and going on my to-do list that was like a mile long. And so what I do is I do 2 hours a day for my business and my power hour, and I do 1 hour a day for social media training or personal development training, and I'm actually getting it done. I'm getting so much training in because I have that hour blocked, and it's a non-negotiable. Just like brushing my teeth and getting dressed for the day, these blocks of time that I have, there's nothing else allowed. If my husband comes home and he's like, let's go on a lunch date, if I've blocked out the time, I'm like, no, sorry, honey, this is my work time. I treat this just like a job. because it is a job and it's a priority. And so if you have that time blocked out, just because you're your own boss doesn't mean you should make an exception. So that's been huge. And so I'm getting more done in the 3 hours a day than I was in 7 hours because I'm focused. And it's those 3 hours that are quality time. So all I do is I get on my phone, my smartphone, and I just plan for my whole week. So I block out 2 hours every day, Monday through Friday, for my power hour and my BAT, and I block out 1 hour for personal development and training. And then the rest of the time, if I want to do extra stuff, I do. But to be honest, I'm getting it all done in 3 hours versus 7 hours of just feeling really busy. Another huge thing is focusing on the basics and not having a huge to-do list. I used to have this, I would have like 5 to-do lists on different pieces of paper, and I would feel so overwhelmed with all the stuff that I needed to get done. I stopped doing that. All I do is I do my non-negotiables, my BAT and my power hour, and I pick 2 things a day. And if I do those 2 things plus my non-negotiables, I consider the day a success. And it can be simple things like going to the post office to mail team incentives or catching up on my customer list. Like nothing huge. And it has changed my business. So just focusing on the basics plus 2 instead of focusing on the basics plus 4,500 other things that are on a to-do list that never get done and you just feel really busy. And basically that is about all of the core things that have completely changed my business this year. I love this quote. Tell me what is it you plan to do with your one wild and precious life. This business, like I said, can be so fun. And you guys have an amazing leader in Jatana, and I think that she keeps it pretty fun, judging by the team call she did for us last night. But one thing in this business I've noticed is that you get to see everybody's highlights, but you don't really get to see the lows. And I don't like to focus on a negative either. But just because you're only seeing highlights doesn't mean that we don't all struggle in this business. But it doesn't, as long as you don't lose the fun and why you love this business, you'll always, I'm trying to think of the right words, but just don't get so focused on hitting certain goals and ranks that you forget why you became a coach in the first place. Because I did that. I forgot why I became a coach in the first place. And the reason I became a coach is because it healed me and my husband from the inside out. And it made us stronger, and it made us better parents and better friends and better people all around. And it was fun, and I loved sharing it. And then I got to be such a business, and I felt so much stress and pressure to perform. And I felt like I had all these people depending on me, and everything kind of fell apart for a while. And I kind of felt like a fraud, and I was embarrassed to talk about it. But don't ever feel like that. Like everybody stumbles, everybody falls, and you can become so successful as long as you just grow in a way that is true to you and not true to anybody else, as long as it makes sense to you. So that's basically all I have. I know I went over a lot of information. So if you guys want any like clarification on that stuff that I talked about, I would love to answer any of your questions.
You were awesome. Thank you so much for sharing your stories. I think your life experiences is what's allowing you to structure this so well, because you have a perspective that not all of us might not appreciate. And it's so true as a new coach, and even as a elite 7-star whatever, it can be overwhelming. And these things that she just went over can definitely help you, one, have a focus on what your goals are with your family, with your business, and how to blend the two. And then also not feeling like you're spending your whole day on Beachbody. Like that's all you're thinking about, that's all you're doing, but you're not accomplishing anything. And I love the blocks that she talked about, because I have found myself, especially like the first 2 years, spending like 7 hours on Facebook, not accomplishing much. When I could have probably spent about an hour to 2 hours towards those particular things and got everything that I needed to get done within that time frame, and then have the rest of the time free. So I hope that that especially emerald personalities who like just sit there and learn and absorb and learn and absorb and learn and absorb, and then you're like, I spent so much time on this and I'm not making any money. What's going on? So I want to open up and see if you have any questions for her on how she blocks things, or how her business hours work, or what does her power hour look like, whatever you feel like was something you needed to hear. Is there any questions from the team? Because I hear you guys in private messages all the time. I'm spending all this time and I'm not getting any results.
That's it. My husband used to say to me, he's like, I'm going to write down how many times you say you're so busy, you don't even know where to start. Or I'm so busy, I have so much to do. And he's like, but you're here for like 6 hours. I'm like, I know, but I'm just so busy. I feel so busy, but I don't feel like I'm getting anything done and just spinning my wheels. So when you have a purpose and a focus, it's huge. And I think it's easy to say, because we all know, but once you really sit down, like I promise, like even if you think, oh, I know I have structure, if you don't have it blocked and at a specific time, it'll completely change your business. Like I just sit down the week before. So like on Sunday, I'll plan my week Monday through Friday. I don't do set business hours on Saturday and Sunday. I want a life. I have my weekends. I answer messages and that's all, but I just do it sporadically and check in with my groups. But Monday through Friday, I'll sit down and I'll look and I'll just block. Okay, 9 to 11 Monday, and then I'll pick my personal development time, and it's blocked out I have an iPhone, so I just block it out that way, and that's what I do Monday through Friday.
Yep, love it. And I've started doing that. I know some of you guys, we talked about on our Diamond Call even, that we felt like we were stuck to our inbox. They were constantly like having to respond to messages. And it's funny because people now post on my wall, like, I sent you a message. And I'm like, well, I might be on Facebook posting a picture of me and my kids eating dinner, but I check my inbox from this time to this time during the day. And I don't look at it unless I'm having a conversation with my friend, which is fine. But otherwise, my actual follow-up time is a totally separate time. And so even though you sent me a message, and you see me posting on Facebook, doesn't mean I'm checking I stay away from my inbox unless I'm intentional, because that can be a black hole. And your notifications, turn those off. You don't need to see every single person that liked, commented. You can go specifically say, I put a call to action post on my wall. Let me look at 5 o'clock how that call to action went so I can start responding to likes and comments. But you don't have to like ding, 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 everything keeps going off, and it's just time wasters. You're not building a business by answering notifications. Turn that off of your Facebook like now after this call. So, all right, sorry, I'm talking. Questions? Do you have any questions?
I have a question. First of all, I want to say thank you so much for so much awesome information. It was so chock full, and I apologize if I'm asking something that you already covered, but it was very, very good. I'm going to re-listen to this. So what I have a problem doing is I get the power hour and I get the invites and the, tracking, reaching out, that kind of thing. Mine is I get caught up as like, oh, I need to make a pick monkey. Oh, I need to do a shout out. Oh, I need to do my Hootsuite. Like, do you block that out? Like Monday morning, I'm doing these things because I can spend easily an hour in that inbox, like what Jatana was saying. Like I've got these messages and then you get this conversation trying to connect with people. Literally 1 hour has gone by and you're the weather, because you're making friends and connecting, which I love to do. But then it's like, okay, well, that's a whole hour. But now I need to go. There's so much that could be blocked in those 2 hours. So I don't know if you can, through that fuzzy explanation, understand what I'm trying to ask.
Yeah. So my bat, I can bust it out depending on the day, like half an hour, 40 minutes. And then I'll move on to my power hour. My power hour I have broken down into daily tasks. So like Mondays, I will do like team shout outs. And like Wednesday, I'll check and make sure who's going inactive so I can tell my coaches. So I have like different things on different days that I do. Like Fridays, I'll do a YouTube video on training. So what you can do is kind of do a brain dump of everything you like to do. And you can kind of keep it. It'll take you a while because you'll think all this stuff and then you'll be like, oh my gosh, I forgot that. So maybe for 2 weeks, just do a brain dump on things you like to get done every week. and then take it and block it off into Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And it becomes so much more manageable. So now I just look up after I'm done with my bat, and on my Monday, I have this list of like 4 or 5 things. And I just go on to do that. And so then I know I'm not forgetting anything. I'm not forgetting any shout outs or anything like that, or my YouTube. And I'm getting so much more done because I have specific days that I'm doing specific things, and then I just move on. And then I also have a beginning of the month and an end of the month extra. And I can share that with you guys. I can send that to Jatana and she can give it to you guys. It'll be a little bit different, but it might help of things that I do at the first of the month and the end of the month for the team as well.
And just so you guys know, a BAT is a business activity tracker. Our tracker just looks different. It's like power of threes, but it's a business. It's basically tracking your little daily to-dos and making sure you're doing them all every day. What else?
I have a question, Tara. Hi, Chelsea. Thank you so much for that. That was a really great call. I love the poster board accountability idea. I'm like an old school. I went to school to teach, so poster and visual works for me and keeps me, focused in on my goal. But my question to you is, I have 2 small kids. I have a 3-year-old and an 8-month-old, and I work full time. But I've been trying to make that time where it's like I don't do anything on Facebook. I have to, my family needs to be a priority also. And that block time, I get an hour lunch a day. So I'm wondering, it takes me 5 seconds to eat lunch. Like it's a salad and it's done. And so I'm trying to take time, 30 minutes at my lunchtime at work and devote that to these 3 certain things or whatever. I'm trying to divide that so that I can make it possible. Is there any way that you can, that power hour, describe what would be a good way to do this in that 30 minutes and then focus in on these other things after the kids are in bed and the workouts are done and all that?
Yeah, so absolutely. I have a lot of coaches that work full time and they tell me the same thing. And so they'll even do 15-minute increments. And so what's so important in that is knowing exactly what you're doing. So if you only have a half an hour before work, maybe you're checking in with your challengers, checking your team page, checking your breaking news in that half an hour. So you know exactly what you're doing then. And then maybe at lunch, you're checking your messages, planning your posts. Also for people that work full time, something that's helped us a ton is having a Sunday post day, and they'll just write all their posts for the whole entire week on Sunday. So then when they go to post, they can just pop them in or schedule them on Hootsuite if you guys use that. And so just those types of things. So just breaking it down into small little things, but you're so focused in that 15 minutes, it's easy for you to just pop it out. So you guys use the power of 3. So it would be maybe, I don't know how you break up your day, but if you had, I don't know if it's half hour, an hour at night, or whatever it is, but you'll just time it out. And so if it's the power of 3, you're going to add 3 people to your network. You're going to invite 3 people to your challenge group and invite 3 people to the coaching. So maybe your invites are in that 30 minutes at night, but your messages are in the middle of the day, and your posts, you're posting them all and scheduling them at the beginning of the day. So I do mine in a big block because I have that time, but I have a lot of coaches who will break things down into what makes sense for them. So I don't know if that helps or not, but I would just focus on the little things, like your non-negotiables. And then if you have extra time, you can do more. But for sure, just focus on your non-negotiables.
I definitely found a good that buffer for Facebook. That I tried that out for the first 3, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday this week, and that was a huge help because that was becoming stressful. I got to get a post on, and it's lunchtime, and then it's over, and I didn't do anything. So definitely chunking it like that, even 15 minutes. That was very helpful. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Anybody else? What time is it? 9:50. All right.
If there's no, okay, I just wanted to say something because so thank you so much for letting me talk on this team call, you guys. And I've been doing this for almost 4 years. And just if you have a bad time or if you're struggling, always go back to the beginning and think of, why did I fall in love with this business? We get to work out, we get to be sweaty, we get to share our transformation and help others. And I always say I had this aha moment at Summit in 2013. I was riding the escalator up the stairs at the MGM ground with my husband, and I was looking out over this crowd of people, and everyone was happy And if you haven't been to an event before, you need to go, and you'll never miss one again, because there's something magical about just being around people. I mean, it sounds incredibly corny, but I felt like I was like walking on a cloud. I just like walking around like so happy the whole time. And we get to do this as a job every day. We just get to help people be healthy, feel better, and they pay us to do it. And you get to grow it however you want, and you get to work with whoever you want. You can hire your best friends, your family. This job is amazing. So just never, ever lose sight of how amazing this opportunity is. And even if 50 people judge you, it doesn't matter, because you're going after that one person that you can really change their life. And once you change a couple people and you help them, you don't care what everybody else thinks, because you're not in it for everyone else. You're in it for you and to help the people that need help. So thank you so much for listening, you guys. And I appreciate your time tonight.
Awesome. You are amazing. All right, let's take a group shot real quick so you guys can post it on your own social media about how you're surrounded by some rock stars. So go ahead and smile so I won't get in trouble for posting awful picture. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Okay. Let me get there's 2 pages, so I'm going to do another page. Okay. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Got it. Cool. All right. Well, thank you so much, Chelsea, for pouring your heart out and your wisdom, and we appreciate you and excited to see you at Summit Cruise. Yeah. Awesome. Well, there's a big group of us going, so we'll be on the cruise, and then we will see you in Nashville. So,
yay!
Have a great night. Love you guys. Bye.